For the sake of clarity, really, I'd like to show a video, a brief interview that was conducted by an expert in gender reassignment surgeries from Oregon's healthcare system.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
I object. I move that the committee adjourn. This has turned into a circus.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of This Week in DUMBmocracy, a show that exposes political buffoonery as it happens. So today we're looking at the House Energy and Commerce Committee, who met last week to discuss, among other things, legislation concerning gender-affirming surgery for minors and the funding of hospitals that perform these procedures. So one of the arguments that is always brought up about these issues, and it's a very controversial issue, we all acknowledge that, is that the left seems to think that the right is always stupid. The left seems to believe that they always have the moral and intellectual high ground, that they are more educated, that they're more in the know, they're more attuned to what's going on. And what we're going to see right now is a video featuring Republican Congresswoman Kamek from Florida, who sort of flips the script on Democrats and that talking point when it comes to this particular issue. And wow, the reaction that you're going to see here from Democrats is mind-blowing.
Chair recognizes Ms. Kamek for 5 minutes on the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I am so grateful to my colleagues, Representative Crenshaw for his leadership on this bill, and all of my colleagues here who are supporting funding for our children's hospitals. I want to reiterate again that nothing in this bill would prohibit a child with gender dysphoria from receiving proper mental and behavioral health care services. The underlying text is limited to experimental medical intervention, specifically using puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and surgeries to change a child's gender. And it was mentioned several times from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that we don't understand this process. And so for the sake of clarity, really, I'd like to show a video, a brief interview that was conducted by an expert in gender reassignment surgeries from Oregon's healthcare system.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
I object. I move that the committee adjourn. This has turned into a circus.
Oh, and there we go. They don't want to hear it. So whenever you try to clarify something now, apparently that's outrageous and it's turning things into a circus. My goodness, the chaos continues from here because right now the chair of the committee, Congresswoman McMorris Rodgers, is going to have a dilemma on our hands about how to handle this objection to this video. Normally, if you watch these hearings and people want to, and when members of Congress want to introduce outside evidence, they usually do something called asking for unanimous consent to enter something into the record. And 9 times out of 10, I even dare say 99 times out of 100, everyone would allow it in and it would go in without objection. But it looks like Democrats are going to be objecting to this interview that she claims she has with this doctor that performs these gender-affirming surgeries and presumably would talk about the risks associated with puberty blockers and hormone treatments for children in connection with these surgeries. Again, very controversial topic. The point of the video, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, because it is about gender apparently, is that we're not going to be really delving into the nuts and bolts of this particular policy issue. We're looking at the buffoonery of how it's being handled in this committee. And right now it's devolving into chaos.
I move that the committee be adjourned.
It's official. It's official testimony.
Can I, Madam Chair, can I just ask?
Madam
rather
Chair, without
than
objection,
object.
I would like to
Okay.
play this
Committee
video.
will come to order.
I was
Motion
going
to adjourn is not debatable, right?
Now, McMorris Rodgers is checking with staff to see what to do here. For those who don't know, the staff is what really drives these committees. Majority staff has to know the parliamentary rules that Congress runs under in these committees, whatever rules have been adopted by the committee at the beginning of session. And they're really going to instruct the members as to what to say and how to handle things. They may also go up to members and explain to them what they should be saying at some points. You end up with members of Congress, elected officials, not knowing what to do when things go sideways.
So I have to ask. Okay, so Ms. Kamek
Madam
controls
Chair.
the time. She gets her 5 minutes, and then we'll move to
Madam
the
Chair.
vote on the motion
Madam
to
Chair.
adjourn.
We don't want to
Thank
be
you,
held
Madam Chair.
hostage
Sorry,
by
Rhea-
whatever it
Rhea,
is that you
excuse
guys
me.
are.
Claiming my time.
Held hostage by knowledge? Really? Okay. You see the buffoonery here, right, guys?
Committee will come to order.
So
Ms.
you'll
Kamek
have your
controls
votes.
the time. Ms. Kamek controls the time.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Chairwoman. Without objection, I would like to
I
play this
object.
video.
There's an
I
objection.
object. We have no foundation or basis for this video. We haven't seen it, and
It's
I
a
object.
medical expert from your side.
From their side. Now that's interesting. So this is someone that purportedly is going to be speaking favorably about gender affirming surgeries and hopefully discussing intellectually honestly what the risks are of these surgeries are and what they entail. Again, we're not going to go into the issue of gender affirming surgery itself and all the medical science behind it. I'd need like a 2-hour video at least to sort of get into that. That's not what we're doing here. We're looking at how Congress works, and right now it ain't working.
I object.
If we don't as you claim, if we do not understand how this surgeries work, I would like to show a video that articulates how these surgeries are conducted. I think that is completely
Brilliant.
germane to the conversation that we are having here today.
Sticking it right to them in their own knowledge base.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Stab's
They will
going nuts right now. Look at it.
suspend. Committee will come to order. Okay, so Ms. Kamek gets to finish her 5 minutes, and then we will proceed.
Thank you. Please play the video.
Might be time to take a break here, guys.
Okay. Okay. Committee stands at recess while the
Yep, that's a good
minority
call.
listens to the video.
Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show.
Committee will come to order. Ms. Kamek had asked unanimous consent for the committee to watch the video. There was an objection. I'm going to yield now to Mr. Pallone for the purposes of his objection.
I have looked at the video, but I insist on my objection because I have to be honest, I don't even understand what the person is saying. It's all, to me, it's just almost impossible for us to understand what he's saying and how it relates to what we're discussing here. Even the authentication is difficult.
First of all, I guess it was bring your daughter to work day for somebody. And what a day to show up. And did you see the staffer whisper to Pallone what to say about the authenticity of the video? Like, authenticity matters. This isn't a court of law where you have to authenticate the video presentations that you're making. This is something that a member of Congress is representing is what it is and asking that it be put into the record. So now it's either going to go in the record or it's not going to go in the record. And when you don't have unanimous consent, you got to put it to a vote.
So I insist on the objection, Madam Chair.
Instead of a unanimous consent, the committee, I'm going to ask then that the committee vote as to whether or not to see the video. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Recorded vote, Madam Chair.
Yes, for a
Screaming
recorded
out
vote.
there.
A recorded vote has been requested. The clerk will call the roll.
Okay, so let's pass by all the voting here. We're going to fast forward through all of that. And just as a reminder, folks, if you like what you're seeing, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We do videos like this Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, talking about political buffoonery in members of Congress, members of government, and state government, federal government. Doesn't matter what party. Check us out online Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Wow, this vote's taking a little while here. But you see, all this to get a video on the record. because Democrats are scared of what this video is going to show. They didn't know what it said, and now we're going through this whole rigmarole process to see if this video gets in. I think we're getting close to an ending here on this issue.
Clerk will report the vote.
Here we go.
Chair Rogers, on that vote, there are 26 ayes and 18 noes.
The ayes have it. We will watch the video.
So I'm going to play a portion of the video because this video is already running a little longer than I hoped. Again, you can have an opinion about gender affirming surgery. I know I have my views. I'm sure you have your views. The facts are the facts, and we have to figure out the medicine behind it. There are lots of unknown risks to these surgeries. There haven't really been detailed studies about what happens here. I think we're all concerned about the health, safety, and welfare of children. And if we all remember that we're coming from that place, then the policy points should take care of themselves in a good faith environment. But as you see right now, this is not a good faith environment. And by the way, I don't know if you notice this right now, but you'll see at the tail end here, before they start playing the video, the Democrats are leaving. They're running out of the committee hearing, presumably to protest the playing of this video. They are literally sticking their heads in the sand because of this video. What a masterful stroke by Congresswoman Kamek to sort of call out these hypocrites, these buffoons, for their hypocrisy. What a great move. There they go. Look at them leave. Getting up. There's Pallone getting up.
So 80% or so of my practice is gender affirming surgery.
Oh yeah, this is a real right-leaning doctor. You can tell with the pink hair, right? I'm sure this is testimony that was really damaging to the Democrats.
So I do facial, chest surgery, and genital surgery. But the majority of my practice and sort of where my passion lies is really genital surgery cases. So I do a lot of vaginoplasty and a lot of phalloplasty. I would just say they're expanding in either direction. So yeah, a lot of adolescents presenting for surgical intervention, but also a lot of people that are like in their 70s sometimes coming in for genital surgery, and then everything in between. But the adolescents for sure present some unique challenges. Obviously, there's great evidence supporting pubertal suppression for a whole variety of benefits. But the one thing that is very new is genital surgery in someone that has underwent pubertal suppression. Not so much an issue in someone with assigned female at birth anatomy that undergoes a phalloplasty, because we're creating something with a free tissue transfer or a flap anyway. But a much bigger issue for an individual that's undergoing a penile inversion vaginoplasty.
So what we just witnessed was an interview last week from Dr. Blair Peters, who is a gender-affirming surgery expert at the University of Oregon's Health and Science Division. Earlier today, just a few minutes ago, our colleagues on the left said that we didn't know what we were talking about. So when presented with a video that details exactly what it means to conduct surgery on a minor for gender-affirming surgery, they left the room. They don't want the facts.
And that's powerful. Now, granted, this is a committee hearing. House Energy and Commerce Committee probably doesn't get a lot of airtime, but this should get a lot of airtime. To see those Democrats walk out when this video is being played, and like I said, this is probably someone that presumably supports gender-affirming surgery for minors. The doctor said it was his passion, actually. Maybe not for minors, but the surgery in general. What are they so scared of? If they're for this issue, they should want to get the facts out there to educate the voting public to turn their opinion in their favor. I don't get why they stuck their head in the sand on this one. But this is definitely hypocrisy, and it's buffoonery I talk about in my book, Schnooks, Crooks, Liars and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. This is hypocrisy. I mean, textbook hypocrisy, folks. But it's also willful cognitive dissonance. The idea that they're above reproach and beyond this discussion, that they shouldn't even be entertaining opposition, but also they have their position set in stone already. And they're not going to listen to any other facts that are out there on that position that may be contrary to their worldview and shatter their image, shatter their oblivion, really. That's buffoonery that really legislators should not have. Legislators should want to gather all the facts together to make the decision that they believe is best for their voting populace in crafting legislation and policy going forward. Congresswoman Kamek should have been applauded for saying, okay, you say we don't know what we're talking about. Here is at least what we have heard about what is going on, and let this be an opening for a discussion about it. But the Democrats didn't do that. Instead, they went nuts. They shut down a hearing, basically. It turned into a fiasco because they got so apoplectic about it. They got so triggered by it, obviously triggering another type of buffoonery that's discussed in the book. And they turned it into a partisan issue rather than a fact-finding initiative, when all that Congresswoman Kamek was trying to do was get facts out there and maybe call out hypocrisy. And if she was trying to call out hypocrisy, bravo, Congresswoman Kamek. That was a great effort in calling out buffoons. So if you want to see the entire video, by the way, there's going to be a link in the description to the videos that I used in creating this reaction video. You can check out the full presentation that was made in the committee in those videos. Thanks for watching for this long. Again, please be sure, like, share, subscribe, share the show with your friends especially. Let's get the word out about the channel, about what we're talking about, and all these shenanigans that deserve to be shown in the light of day that are going on this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.